What's up, everybody, and welcome to another review, a knee-jerk reaction review to be exact. And we're going to talk about Prey, Predator 5, the fifth in the Predator movies, if you were not including the AVP movies.
A prequel, if you will.
Yes. Not if you
Set
will.
in like, what, 17 something?
1700s.
1710, to be exact.
That's fucking
And what's
nice.
crazy is, like, the beginning of this movie is, like, you don't realize, like, it says 1710, and you're like, really, though? Like, because you don't see, like, the pilgrims.
Are you telling
or
me
whatever
you
they're
actually
called.
watched this movie?
Yeah, I watched it.
Why the
So-
fuck did you do this to me?
So, like,
So you've seen this movie?
yeah, I watched it while we were texting about it.
Why the fuck were you acting like you haven't seen it?
That's a Rodney movie. Through and
God, I knew I saw this coming. Made no sense why you stayed. You were a piece of garbage.
So yeah,
You are homeless. Just garbage. That's all you are.
what's it called? The
Comanches?
settlers and shit. The Europeans, I guess, was what they are.
The French
But you don't
dudes?
see
French.
them till an hour.
Right,
something.
and that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. So it
I
says
believe they're
1710,
French.
and I'm like, this is the 1700s, because I'm thinking 1776 is, you know, the Declaration. There were like cities and shit, but there was nothing.
You're just
there.
following this Indian tribe,
Yes.
essentially.
So I was like, huh. But dude, the stunning cinematography.
Some of those
in this-
wide angle shots,
100%.
that's the best part of
Dude.
this
Did
movie.
you watch the Comanche version or the English version?
No, I didn't. Where do you find that? Because my one big complaint about this movie is the English in it.
I chose.
hate the
I
English.
chose to watch the English version first, assuming I could watch the Comanche version later.
Just to get an idea of what's
Yeah.
really going. Okay, I got you.
But I don't know for a fact, like,
I thought the
how would
Comanche
click
was
on that.
releasing later. I didn't think they were releasing them the same
I heard
day.
it's just available. but
Dude,
maybe
I
I'm
want to
wrong.
watch it in its original.
Because I think it could improve. I think the biggest way it can improve is the main actress is really good, but everybody else feels kind of flat. And
Yeah.
I wonder
I get
if
that.
everybody else would feel, superior, pretty good if they were in that Comanche vibe.
I
Like
would.
the side characters would
Her
not
brother.
fail as much for me if it were
It'd
for
feel
that.
more natural for 'em.
Yeah.
I
Whereas
get
like
that.
they're like it's all about her. It's her story. Everybody else is kind of like, teeter-tottered around her. They're not supposed to be huge. They're just supposed to be there.
Right.
Whereas like if they were just supposed to be there and they were in their normal language, it might feel a little more authentic and
Yeah.
it might not stand out as much because that is probably one of my like weaker elements of the film. Although it didn't bother me entirely, it did have a feel to where like almost any Predator movie there was a supporting character that I loved. Even in the
Yeah,
bad
it's-
ones, this one doesn't really have a supporting character. I
The
love.
dog.
I would say.
Other than the dog,
I
the
love
dog,
the
I'll
dog.
give
The
you the
dog
that
dog.
was such a great addition to this
person.
movie.
Person,
But
was.
I think I can agree with you to an extent. I think another strong character of this movie was the
Predator.
without okay, so without getting into spoilers, the character with her at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? Like he was in the beginning, but he was also in the end too. Not too much in the
You're
middle.
not talking about the brother, are you?
No. The one at the end that went like badass mode there at the end.
Because
And-
I'm gonna be honest, I gotta watch this again
oh, for sure.
wholeheartedly because I had to cut it off, and then I had like a phone call in the middle of watching it, and then I was pressed for times. I knew y'all were coming back. I just had a bunch of shit going on, but I definitely enjoyed my experience. I'll say that much. But I missed on a couple things.
But yeah, I think
Whereas normally I wouldn't.
those were the two strong characters for me. Was the lead actress, which she was incredible in this, and then the guy that she was with. But another little complaint I have, and it's not like big, but the kills were a lot of them were like off screen for some reason, and I don't know why they
Like it's
chose to do that.
PG-13.
Yeah,
I
because
like the kills though.
no, that's what I'm saying. It's not too big of a complaint because I get it's the Predator. You know what I'm saying? Like it builds up to like the last kills are gruesome. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, so what's really happening to them? And it's like the last 20 minutes, you're like, oh, so this is what he was, doing to them. But the kills in it were great. I just wish we would have seen every kill because the original Predator, like you see the aftermath, but you get to see the aftermath. Whereas in this one, the kills
There's
happen
some
off screen and there's
slice
no after.
and cut type situation.
Yes. I just wasn't the biggest fan of that.
I'll say something that might be controversial. I don't know how you all feel about this, but this is my favorite Predator since the original.
Dude, I'm telling you.
I loved his look.
What did I talk about, though? Just the other day. Predator works better when it's one fucking Predator.
And it's not CGI.
Yeah.
When it's
but
practical.
There is something about Predator when it's one single Predator. It makes him seem like an ultimate badass. When you spread it out, it feels a little weaker to me. There's something about the Predator franchise that I think works better when there's one single Predator that you cannot fuck with.
But
and that's something I loved about this movie is not just the single Predator, but it took it back to like the bare bones type of style.
He was still pre-mortal almost.
Yeah, that's what works so well about the original. When you start expanding on the universe, it sounds cool to, like, let's spruce it up from... Even in the fucking last one, they were like, let's have a super Predator. Let's just have Predators on top of Predators. A single fucking Predator that's just cast out and just like, I'm taking care of shit, that works better for me. And that is something that I was so loving in this one. And then another thing to top it off is everybody was like, oh, well, how is this girl? We saw the Commandos taking care of these motherfuckers.
This is
How's
way
this gonna be?
further back.
This is a dialed back Predator.
Yeah,
Everybody was talking about like, oh, what about the lens? But we saw what those, entailed. Like he's not as advanced. We saw him getting fucked
Which I
up.
love that.
Yeah,
I love how they did that.
Everybody would, for some reason, was picturing this just like the Predator we know now in the
He evolved.
1700s.
He would have
Just
destroyed
like-
He
all of
evolved the
them.
same way.
But the like helmet or whatever he
So
wears,
dope.
I think this is like
This is the best Predator, I think.
over the original.
No,
See, I don't know
No
if I'm
way.
ready to take
No
it there.
way in hell.
Dude, when he's walking and his calf muscle, you see the calf
No
muscles
way in
on
hell.
this thing, dude. It's
But
like
that-
two
but-
muscle balls, dude. Just
But
like,
this is probably like the next best, and it's a
It's-
lot of it's the central focus. It's one Predator. We have to focus on one.
I'm
and
glad we're
fucking
on the
up.
same. I didn't know if that was gonna be a hot take or not.
No,
but I
this
fucking
Predator was
love this
dope
Predator.
as fuck.
Yeah.
I know you give
And-
it a 6, but
We'll get to scores later, but one of my favorite scenes was when he's fighting the bear.
oh yeah,
Predator.
yeah.
I don't know why. And then when the blood's
anytime he was on
running down,
screen,
the blood runs down and she can actually like get a figure.
oh, bring it back around though. When the
Okay.
blood runs down, when it's just like we got him. She's like, no, he's got us, and they take off fucking running, and you just see him. You just see his like. Just invisibility
field?
running through the field. That fucking upward shot,
That upward
Yeah.
shot
going down
again, like on X,
was fucking
Dude,
beautiful.
I hope that gets
And then-
used
And you
more.
see the grass.
Yeah,
just
and
like-
then when just blood flies, and then you
Yes.
look back for a second as she's taking off, and you don't know what you're looking at, and then you're like, oh shit, that's the blood resting on the Predator, and he's just hauling ass
Yeah,
behind
so
her.
much faster too.
Dude, lit, dope.
Yeah, I think they definitely went right with this Predator because he still was like watching. He wouldn't just like kill. He would still like play with them.
He wanted
and,
to
like, toy
hunt.
with them, right? But then at the end, when he was like, okay, so I found my match, just like in the original one with Arnold. He was like, okay, so now I gotta like try, dude. That
So was he trying to fuck them up, or did you get a vibe where he killed the wolf that he was like, okay, now I'm gonna go after the dog, because that's a similarity, and then he found them through the dog.
no,
That was something I thought about. Now I know he had to have had some taste for humans because those French fuckers or whatever were setting them up. They were pinning him to a tree. They knew who he was. But to me, it felt like, and I love that scene how it showed him like melting down the wolf's face
yeah.
to
the
a skull. It's almost, for me, it felt like right then and there he's like, okay, I like this. I know of a dog. So he went after the dog, and then that kind of, boom, set everything
A part of
over
me
edge.
feels like he was sent there to hunt, I think, whatever. But I think what caught his eye, instead of the wolf or the dog, was her
I feel like he
and
wasn't even
how
sent there.
she was a hunter.
Because the way his ship went, it almost looked like it like crashed almost.
No,
Like,
it
was-
dropped him off.
Yeah, it didn't feel like drop off to me. Because I feel like it was like flashing in and out, almost like he was crashing in a
I think
weird
it was
way.
just like lightning from it or whatever. Because when
Maybe
it went up.
You could
smooth.
debate that, but like but when I was watching it come down, when she was watching it, it kind of felt like it was coming in and out of, its fucking chameleon-like form, almost
okay,
like
that yeah.
yeah, almost
okay.
like it was like I don't know where I'm going. It's like okay, but I'm here. Let's see what the fuck's on this planet, which I kind of dug.
Now, if they made this,
Almost like the Predator. That's what. It's almost like this was the starting point of the Predator being like, I wasn't supposed to come here, but hey, man, there's some good hunting over here, which is kind of cool to think about. It's just like it kind of stumbled upon humans in this moment, which I kind of like to think of it that way. That's the way I was looking at it.
I like her with the axe, dude.
On the
Dope
rope.
as fuck.
When she put it on the rope.
Yes, bro. She's such a badass. I swear to God. But that final battle at the end, though, when old buddy fucking dude works the Predator, and then he basically sacrifices himself. But dude, when he was putting that work on the Predator, like he was pulling some Legolas type shit, where he was like bow real quick, jump around in a circle, bow real quick, and just like hit. But the Predator dude wasn't like, it wasn't phasing him. Dude, like it was until she choked him out.
Hey, but at the same time, I love how the Predator was phased. He was getting fucked
Oh, he
up.
was using that laser thing to
Yeah.
sew up his
I
shit.
But
love
he was
that
getting
one scene
fucked up
where
left
he's,
and right.
He's healing his wound,
That's
and
what
then
I'm
it
saying,
cuts
yeah.
straight to her
Doing the
putting
same
the
thing.
paste on her wound. I love that comparison
And she
shot
used
there.
that legless Frenchman as bait for the Predator
Yes.
too. I love that. She like took that thing off his leg, and he bled out. He tried to play dead or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he screamed because he stepped on his leg. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
dude.
that sucks so bad.
Once you finally saw the Predator in this movie, it was just unleashed.
Dude, it was so creepy. It was
He was
so.
fucking everybody
I
up.
did not expect him to look that good though. The Predator,
I
like
did
when
not either.
when they did that slow motion shot, like, because at first it was kind of weird. I didn't like the design of his face at first until he opened like his mouth, and then the decision to use her taking his tooth out and stabbing him with his own tooth. I love that because afterwards you show him like roaring or whatever, and he's got this like flappy fucking
Dude,
piece of skin
when he
right here.
destroyed that like whole army when they were against the tree, that scene was
It's probably my favorite scene in the movie.
was
dude.
fucking impeccable. Dude.
It was, and
I got so many like just giddy moments of joy. I was like, yes, let's
and they didn't make him
go.
OP. Like they were getting hits on him too, but he was just too powerful for
He
him.
was skipping from tree to tree like
Oh
it was
yes, when he
nothing,
did
dude.
that. Oh my god.
He put that one thing against dude and just opened up and cut his fucking head
Anytime
off.
he used that shield, he would use the shield, slam it down, and then open it and cut whoever's head off.
He was so cool about it too. He was just like, y'all shoot.
Oh, when they were shooting at
It's
him.
almost like you could feel him being like, all right, yeah, shoot away. I'm about to come kill you. Just wait.
I tell y'all what, I'm surprised by this movie. Honestly, like I mean, the reviews and everything were like glorifying. This
It was,
movie.
yeah. I haven't checked it recently.
But you were
I-
expecting something to let you down somewhere. Too.
Dude, well,
'Cause it's too
we
good to be
all
true.
Still have that bad taste from the Predator.
For Predator
All of
2?
us do. No,
Yeah.
from the Predator, and it's like,
Don't even.
can they do this? And the fact that they went that far back in time instead of, because this is way harder of a concept than like a futuristic Predator or a Predator
Dude,
nowadays.
and that's what's killing me out
And they
about Comanche
killed it.
version.
Oh, I
I
can't
feel like
wait
the
to watch it.
Comanche version
I might
is
watch
gonna
that tomorrow when I wake
it's
up.
gonna bump up. I think.
Yeah,
I
it
really
might.
do.
No, I
like
swear
I
Because
like
I love original language in movies.
They
like
make
this.
they make the movie more immersive.
Yeah,
You
this-
feel more into the movie.
That's one of the reasons why I think Apocalypto is
I thought of the
so
same
fucking
shit.
great. And Pan's Labyrinth
Now
too.
imagine Apocalypto like, hey, how are you doing?
Exactly, bro.
I'm
That would
doing
be
great.
terrible.
Now imagine Predator with the same type of vibe, dude. This one, I mean, that's
There was a point in this movie where I was like, I wouldn't have even cared if it was like no speaking, like none of the characters spoke or anything like that. It was just like an A24
oh,
vibe.
I get that vibe 110%. if this movie had 0 lines in it,
I'd have been okay.
I think like I was just like if it goes back
Might
to the
have been
point.
better.
Okay.
I'm telling you,
Quick.
like if you took away the fucking speaking
Yeah.
and it was just vibes, I think it could have worked.
Maybe have
100%.
her have one line of
Quick
Comanche.
question. There was not a lot, but there was a little bit, quite a bit of French speaking.
Yes.
But we don't know what they said. Did that bother you?
No,
Do you wish
not
that the
one
French
bit.
would have been
Not at all.
So you don't care that
See,
you have
'cause-
no idea what they were saying.
I think he's on the same page with me, but when I watch like martial arts movies and shit like that, and even like international movies that are more English than they are foreign, but they have the foreign. If
It's
I've
just like
seen
in
it
real
before,
life, too.
uh,
It's just, honestly just like in real life too. Like whereas like I can respect what you're doing, but I don't have to understand everything. I just need to pick up the vibe.
yeah, it doesn't. I've seen the movie in English subtitles or whatever one time. I'm good. I know the story. I can watch the movie without like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is a perfect. I watch that movie without subtitles of any kind. So and it's in pure Mandarin the whole entire time. And dude, I love it like that because it's how it's supposed to be. That's the original language, in that movie. So it needs to be that. And this movie, I thought it would like really hurt this movie. It being because from the trailers it being in English, and I'm just like, fuck, dude, like this is.
Didn't though.
I don't know. I wish let them speak French, but I want to know what they're saying. Like that was one of the many things that hurt my score.
It
for
didn't
this.
hurt me for some reason.
I wanted
got
that French
there-
to be because there's 25, 30 lines in French, and they don't like
I
translate
think the
We've-
vibes
any
give
of them.
away kind of what they're saying. though.
We've probably seen way more movies like in another language too, where like we've ran into this type of problem to where we've kind of like accepted it.
Yeah,
Because I like movies like where they're speaking
Fatty
their
Guess.
language, but I'm reading the subtitle so I know what they're saying.
well, that's what I went and seen In the Heights, that musical last year when it came out, and it's English speaking movie or not In the Heights, fucking West
I
Side
was like, what are
Story, West Side Story.
Dude, that's
And,
weird that you just brought that up. Continue. But yeah,
English.
I got something to say on that.
But they have like Spanish speaking scenes in it, you know, not extended or anything, but like a couple, you know, minutes here and there. And dude, it didn't bother me one bit. There's no subtitles, no nothing. They're just speaking to each other in Spanish, and I'm just because of the vibes of the situation, like the way they're carrying their
Dude,
body
yes.
language and shit, you can tell what's going
Here-
on and what's being said.
Are you going on a long tangent?
Not
'Cause
a
I need
long
to. I
one.
need to head out. I'll give my score if you.
Here's not long one. Here's a fucked up thought about that. That's kind of crazy but true. I would compare it to what you don't see works in horror movies. It's kind of like you don't get to see it play out, but you envision what you see playing out. It's almost
It's like ambiguous in a way.
yeah, it's almost like like he said and I said, the vibes of it all. It just feels so right, and you know exactly what they're doing and saying without saying it. There's something to that. Like if it was the lead characters, it would bother the fuck out of me. But for a section of the movie, it's kind of like, oh damn, like what are they even going through right now? If you know it, you know it. Great. If you don't, you do know they're going through some shit right now. They're not the main characters. It's not essential. You know they're fucking having a problem right now. And watching enough movies in other languages, that does not fucking affect me at all. If anything, it kind of added to it in a weird way. But I feel like that's like 70-30 more on your side. But for me, I love that in its own weird way. I was like, I almost love the fact that I don't know what they're saying because they're not essential to the plot. It's just, holy shit, these motherfuckers are getting fucked up. Love that.
They did too.
Yeah, I don't know if you agree with me on that, man.
I do. 100%.
I still wish I would have known what. They
I
were
got
saying.
one twist though. If y'all want
One
to hear a
twist of
twist,
what?
did y'all pick up on anything? I picked on something huge. I was watching with my brother and I was like, "Oh shit!" Just hit me. Predator 2. At the end of Predator 2,
Mm-hmm.
Danny Glover gets handed like a gun from the 1700s.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that dude that handed his gun over from the 1700s. That was him.
It was who?
The guy, the fucking guy,
In the
with
movie?
fucked up foot.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he handed over. He's like, "You can have this. I'll show you how to use it."
I definitely thought he was gonna try to kill her.
You know what I'm talking about?
Damn.
Yeah.
I never put that together. But I
Yeah.
hadn't seen Predator 2
Yeah,
in so
but
long.
it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, "Oh shit!" Like at first, I was like, "Oh, that's what's up." Oh! And my
All
brother
right.
was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, that."
We ready for scores? You
Yeah,
going?
that's the gun from the 1700s.
Let's
I
hear it.
gotta get out of here.
Let's hear it.
I was wanting to love this movie.
Right.
Very slow start for me. Didn't really get into it. Like you said, some of those aerial shots of like the mountains and fucking rivers.
Just the cinematography in general.
Fucking amazing. Wasn't a huge fan of a lot of the kills, like you were saying. I wanted to see more of that. I definitely was like I had mentioned earlier, are they going for like a PG-13 rating
Seemed
with
like
like
it.
pulling it off? I love the way Predator looks.
Carried himself and
But the whole storyline and everything, I just wasn't a huge fan of. And wanting to love this, I think, hurt my score more than it actually is. So I think on a rewatch, it'll go up a little bit. But this is a 3.6 for me.
You're serious?
Yeah, like I think it's actually closer to like a 5. But being that I wanted to love it, drops it a bit. But yeah, I gotta give it a 3.
You gotta be telling me that you're doing. What
And I gotta get out of here. 'Cause I gotta
You
leave
need
early
to
in the
get out of here
military.
with that score,
I'll
dude.
send you a text of our scores.
You just shocked me.
He said 3-6. I'm out.
He's done. Are you serious right now? I can't even
He said
continue.
3-5 in the car like twice on the way, and I was like, oh no, he's probably like a 6. He's straight up
Joking,
3-6.
dude. There's
Oh my
no
God.
mafia.
Yo, this fucking movie
is dope as fuck,
so
dude.
fucking good, dude.
Are you kidding me
So
right now?
here's what I'm gonna do. I want to rewatch the Comanche version, like you said, and I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
I'm just kidding. I loved it. It's at 8.6.
Are you serious?
I was gonna say, I was like,
Oh
what?
shit!
You got me with that a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah, you got me there. All right.
See it.
Good. That made me feel better.
Yeah, I was like, what are we talking about right now? There's no way.
Dude, this from the minute this movie started, I was like, okay, so we're getting some good cinematography, which is a plus from the last one. And
Yeah.
then the movie continues on, and it's like the story itself seems so natural. The flow of the movie seems so natural.
Oh, so good.
And it's like everything that happened every step of the way was just like, dude, this is just, it's too good to be true. I think you just said that not too long ago, but
Yeah.
it's a Predator prequel that's probably 20 years
It's
too
the bare
late.
bones of it.
Yeah.
They took it back to its roots.
Yeah, which was a risk from hell.
I wish more movies would do this. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Movies are just trying to up the ante.
I
It's
know
like,
it.
just take it back to
Just
the roots.
restart, dude.
And
Like,
then no better way. It's just like, we can't match that. So let's go back even fucking further.
yeah. I'm gonna hit this movie. I can't believe I'm even saying this. I'm gonna give this movie a 9.3. And
Really?
yeah, and I need to
Nice.
watch it in the Comanche version because I feel like this is a possible 9.5. Like
Really?
Yeah, I really do because I can't tell you how blown away this movie. And even with the off-screen kills,
This
still
could be your
just like,
favorite
fuck-
Predator movie, then.
yeah, yeah.
Shocking,
I think
yeah.
it is. Well, no, because what did I give Predators? Because that's my favorite one right now.
I think like 8.9. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I gave Predator the OG an 8.9.
They gave it 8.7. Maybe not, though.
I don't know. We'll have to go
I can't
back.
remember.
But yeah, dude, this movie, when it was over, because it was right before I headed out here, it was over, and I was like, oh my god, like
What just
I
happened?
literally thought to
I
myself,
gave up
I
on
want
Predator
Brandon to love
movies.
this movie. I feel like you were gonna love this movie. I was like, dude, this was maybe I'm tripping, but this was so much better than it had any business being. 9.3 for me for Prey.
Oh, there's no way around that. I just come flat out and say this is an 8.8 out of 10 to me.
I'm so happy. I'm
This
so happy.
was fucking
And the
amazing.
Comanche might even turn that up.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like with the Comanche version, it could go up to like a 9.2, 9.3 for me.
dude.
I want to watch it in that version just to really feel like I'm immersed in that actual world rather than like this petered down, like, what will the rest of the world think? You know, like, fuck them. Yeah, that's why I wanted to watch on this version first. I am super excited to watch this in the Comanche version because I think it could go up a lot. There's just a sense of realism, and dude, you said the final battle with like old dude that got
Yes.
dude, was dope. What about like after that with the main character and like fucking up the predator too, like in the
Oh,
dark,
yeah.
like
No.
that whole thing was
Yeah,
so dope.
She put the work on him too. Dude, it's just through and through, and the utilization of the dog. They didn't use it too much. They didn't use it too little.
Perfect
They used it
utilization.
perfectly, and the dog, and it was like realistic too. So like the way the dog was attacking, I'm like, okay, I can see a dog attacking like that. It's not like an overpowered dog. It's like ripping the flesh off the predator.
That's
and
what's
shit.
weird about it, dude. Is it's like it feels like it isn't supposed to be something mind blowing, but what it is supposed to be, it blows your mind
Yes.
for that.
Yes.
And it's so good. What the fuck? I'm even more mad it's not in theaters now.
Dude, yeah, that's what I said. As soon as it was over, I was like, why isn't this in theaters?
That might have bumped it up a couple points right there, like
That-
0.2, you know what I
Bro.
mean? Like, imagine seeing this on the big
I
screen.
cannot believe this movie is this fucking good, dude. I mean, my fucking top 10 of the year just got fucked up. Over I did not think this was going to enter the
The
top
critics
10.
just fucking dude.
Yeah, they're giving it like 98%, like its first day or two, and I'm like, okay, this is going to fall.
There's no way.
And it's only like 91% right now, and I'm just like, okay, maybe they're like
I get
really
it.
overhyping it. And then I watched it. and
This
I'm like,
is
no.
the second best Predator movie, bar none, objectively.
That's everybody is. Well, I don't know. It might be subjective because everybody is literally saying it's either better or it's as good as the original Predator.
I don't see better.
So
I've
I'm saying
seen-
though, like everybody's thinking the same thing though.
Everybody's thinking that this is the next best Predator.
Yeah.
Everything I've seen, like Predator 2, still my second favorite Predator. Gotta watch this again because it might be in contention with it. Predator 2 is like the best guilty pleasure movie ever. So fucking good. But objectively, like, this is the second best Predator movie. There's no way around it. Like, watching it. It's special, dude. It really is.
Y'all for real check it out. Don't be scared to. I mean, I was a little nervous at first, but I'm telling you right
You
now.
would be like, oh, it's Disney, and they're fucking sending
It was
it
Fox when it was made.
straight to Hulu, and it's like, what are we doing right now?
I know,
Really?
I
Really?
know.
This is what we're doing?
It's like we're just gonna throw a Predator movie on streaming. Cool.
Yeah, you can't trust that no more. It's frustrating because it's not in theaters, but also you cannot trust that
I swear
shit.
though, watch this movie. If you have surround sound, utilize it. I watch it in surround sound, and dude, the Predator sounds. If you're in like an enclosed room and
Just
you got
wondering where they're at, dude,
Yo,
or where it's at.
it's wow.
I'm telling you, man, one Predator's better. I don't give
it
a
is
fuck.
no 100%. It is.
It's more intense that way. It makes it more of a threat. It's just like when there's a bunch of them, they feel weaker. It's like, oh, I killed this one, now I gotta get this one. When there's one central fucking focus, it makes it more intense. And I talked about it in our last review, and I did not know this was gonna be one Predator going into it. This
I
is
thought it might be two, but
it's crucial.
I'm glad they kept it with one.
It's fucking crucial, dude. They stripped it to its bare bones and fucking took it back to feeling original again with one, and they
And he
nailed
never
it.
got ahead of himself. Everything was on track. The pacing was, oh my god, it's an hour and a half, and it's Josh. I don't even know if that was true or not now that he gave a score, but he said that the beginning was like really slow, but it all paced out perfectly to me.
No, it was perfect.
think-
It was a slow build to
It
what
getting
was
you to
coming.
know her and to know how she is.
The
and, like,
CGI was like the only thing that was kind of like, yeah,
the blood.
not the blood, just the animals and shit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But with this kind of movie, like you
It's
get
okay.
caught up with
Yeah, it
fucking
doesn't even bother
Marvel
me.
and shit. You're not expecting it to be. It's a straight to Hulu movie.
Right. Watching Marvel with dragons and shit. And
Yeah,
shit.
it's a straight to Marvel movie. It's good for what it is, dude.
Watch Prey for real.
Dude, pray for Prey.
Hulu.
Pray for Prey. I'm gonna be watching it tomorrow with my mom and my stepdad and all that shit.
Nice. You think they're gonna like it?
They